I'm State Representative Rosemary Brown, and you're watching the Legislative Report. I have some wonderful guests with me today. I have Joe and Vasilia, and a very good friend of mine that I've been friends with for years, Chris Wilson. So thank you for joining me today. And we have a group, an organization called the FaBRICKators. And there's a lot to this group, but I'm going to let Chris start. And then we're going to fill in as we go, and you can add on. We have a lot to talk about. So this is really a great group. And as far as education, a tremendous project that you've started. So Chris, start filling us in a little bit about what the FaBRICKators are.
Okay. Well, first, thank you for having us here.
My
That
pleasure.
was very nice for you to invite us. The kids are really excited to talk about it. It really is a large undertaking, and so many aspects to this project. First, the way we got started is I was looking for something for my son to do, either as an after-school activity or a summer activity involving Legos or building or robotics.
He's been doing that for years.
He has been,
As I've
yes.
known you from years back, years and
Yes.
years of building.
Yes. I always loved it. So I was thinking, well, what could be really challenging? So I started Googling on the internet and looking for some things. And I happened upon this website for First Lego League, which looked like it was using the Mindstorms robot that Lego puts out that you can get in any store, Toys R Us, Target. And then programming it to do challenges on this large 4-foot by 8-foot Lego table. So I was looking into it, and I thought, my husband and I were also, thinking together. Both of us have an engineering background, and that just seemed like right up our alley. We thought, it would be nice if we could get Andrew and some friends interested. So how I started was I sent an email to about 20 people that we knew, and I figured that it's for 2 to 10 kids for one team. So I thought, well, if we started with 20 people,
Right.
see who's interested. We got responses from 8 people that were interested in having their kids participate. So that's how we got started. And then looking into it, it turned out it was a lot more than just a robotics competition. There's actually 3 parts to it. The robotics is designing the robot and then programming it to do a bunch of challenges on the table. The second part is actually a project that the kids have to come up with, either a simple or complex, possibly, solution to a real-world problem. And every year that theme changes. This year it happened to be senior solutions. And then the third aspect is called the core values. And that is what First Lego League, it's their idea of gracious professionalism. It's having the kids work as a team, have respect for each other, and then also show the other teams respect when they go to the tournaments. And there are a lot of other parts to it, but all 3 of these aspects are in judging sessions of the tournaments. And then there's the game where they play for points.
Let's go over here to Joe for a second and see what Joe wants to add on so far. Now I should say really quickly, Chris, ages. For this. You didn't mention that yet,
No,
right?
not yet. Actually, 9 to 14 is the age range, and they highly recommend that you stick within the middle school,
Age group.
or above, or junior high, but mostly middle school, and all our kids here are from the middle school at Stroudsburg.
Okay. And as you just mentioned, Stroudsburg is where this started, but you are able and
Yes.
actively saying, please join us if you are from other school districts.
Sure. I mean, anybody can start a team. It can be part of a school program, which we would love if all our local schools would have this program in their middle schools. Or it could just be a community that, as long as you have a coach that's willing to get it started, the kids do all the work. So it's really...
the coach just kind of leads the way a little bit.
Yeah, and the coaches can teach techniques, and they can, show processes, but the kids actually have to do all the work. And as having done this for a whole season now. I'd be willing to help mentor anybody who wanted to be a coach that was local, because it really helps to have a little bit of experience and just to know what to expect.
That's nice. And maybe we'll put some of your information up on the screen a little bit later, so that if people want to, maybe your email, if people want to get in touch with you and they want to start in their school district, or if they want to start anywhere, you can be the mentor. That's a big project.
Thank
too. So, Joe, when you got started, what was your most favorite part of the project?
I liked the robot because it just seemed cool, the idea of just like building a custom robot and programming it to do all the tasks on the table. It just seemed like a really cool idea.
So how do you come up with this design on
Well,
the robot? Is it...
I didn't come up with the whole design. It was the whole team. But we came up with the design thinking that if we could have one thing that did everything, we didn't have to work like changing out attachments halfway through. So we decided, due to what challenges we needed, a single crane like this would be able to do almost everything. We do have a few attachments that go on like the front here and stuff. And we also have a little section here where it can like carry stuff. We have a sensor here. This is the light sensor, and then we have a color sensor back here.
Very interesting. So this was your favorite part.
Yeah.
How about you? Favorite part?
I like the presentation part of it because it just seemed cool that you had to invent something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's hard because everybody has their strengths of what they like to do, so you can kind of pull on that on the team as well, right? Good. Now, how many? Well, actually, I should say, is there a cost? I mean, there is a little bit of a cost because you do have some travel if you were to compete and things like that, and some of the costs for doing the projects, right?
Yeah, there are a lot of different costs involved. The most expensive part is the robot itself.
Right.
The Lego Mindstorms robot, runs between $250 and $300. And the way that, as a group, we worked it out is that we had actually two families go ahead and purchase. Each family purchased one robot, so that we would have two robots to work with during the building and programming phase. And that works out better in the long run because then you don't have to worry about splitting the cost, because in the end you can't really split the robot up.
Right.
So I would say that the total cost can run up to around $1,000 if you're getting started. But if you have 10 children and you're splitting the cost of most of it, it's really no more. In fact, it could be less than a sport for the season.
Right.
So it really isn't too bad. And then when you go on to the next season, then the costs just even decrease because you don't have to purchase the robot.
Yeah, and I would think now, are you accepting donations or funding even yet? None of that has even happened yet with the group.
Yeah, it really hasn't happened yet.
But I could see that happening where people would
we-
say, I want to donate to this group. They do.
That would be fantastic.
Right.
And also, we have the opportunity maybe to do some fundraising next year because the costs do really, they start to add up, especially with the presentation, because the kids they get to do whatever they want in the actual presentation, judging session. And there's posters and things like that, pamphlets that we had. This year, we were lucky enough, all of the parents involved really donated something that either they were really good at doing or, in terms of, one of the parents donated the pamphlets. They made sure that they, had the paper and the printer to run those off. And then another one of the parents that is a general contractor, he built the table for us, this big 4-foot by 8-foot table.
So everybody did their little
One of
share
the other
to help.
moms just absolutely loved. She came to every single meeting. She brought muffins, and she was just such a wonderful support. That was Natalie's mom, and we had two other parents step up besides my husband Jim as coaches, and we each took a portion of the project and coached a little bit. Where I coached mainly the actual development of the product. Jim coached the robot design and the programming, and Stacy, she coached the actual filming of the presentation and a lot of the writing and development of that. And then our coach Karen helped with the teamwork because there were so many activities that the kids needed to do to get ready for the teamwork judging, and that was a lot of fun.
It's nice to see so much parent involvement.
Yeah.
It really is.
It was
and
fantastic. It was really a team of parents
Right.
as well as children.
Right, and the group effort, and even your initial email that went out. I mean, you almost had half of half of the people respond that they were going to be involved in the project. So it's
Yeah.
nice to see the parent involvement, which I know is tough, you know, when you have parents, both parents working or commuting
Right.
from our area, which is often very common. But there's another project, right? So tell us about the other project.
The other project is the presentation aspect of the project, and we had to come up with a solution to a problem seniors had. So we had a senior partner. We had to find a senior partner, and we asked them what troubles they had. And our senior partner was Andrew's grandmother, and she had trouble walking on her beach with her regular cane. So we came up with this product, the Beach Reach. It's a cane made out of PVC piping that can work just as well as it does in the sand as it does on land.
I thought that was so creative when I saw that. And I thought just, you know, it was just so creative. And so many seniors love to go to the beach. And, you know, it's something that you don't think about,
Right.
you know, and Andrew's grandma, right? So, but just to think that we're so used to that when you go to the beach, right? There's no problems. You don't have to use a cane. But to see a senior and think, you know, there's a lot of seniors that love to go to the beach, and if it's dangerous too.
Right.
So it's you're preventing somebody from falling, and you're helping them go and enjoy themselves. So I thought that was very creative. So that was the whole second part of this whole
Right.
group in general as well.
And even
But-
as far as the product goes, and Vasily, you maybe even want to speak a little bit more about the outreach, because this is another thing that at First Lego League that they recommend is that not only do you develop the product, but then you have to share it with your community. And so do you want to talk about some of the things that we did with that?
Okay, so first of all, we went to our local Home Depot and Lowe's, and Home Depot actually cut the bottom part of the cane and has them out in their store. And we also gave it to several senior centers around the area as well.
Very nice. So you've got a lot of involvement
Yes.
locally. So that's wonderful. So that you could make this at any time for anyone, or they could make it because they're aware of how you made it. Like, so Home Depot, if somebody was to go into Home Depot and they had said something about this cane, Home Depot would know what to do.
They also have the pamphlets.
They have the pamphlets.
And the instructions are in
That's-
there.
Look at that. Very, very nice. So what else can you tell me about the experience so far since you started?
It's been really fun, and it's definitely been learning opportunity for the whole team. And it's just, I've done things here that I would never thought. Like, I would have never programmed a robot this early if I hadn't been in First Lego League.
And I could just tell how you're speaking, how well both of you speak and are presenting the projects and talking about the project, that, you know, you're very focused and very educated, and you just want to keep learning and learning. And I think it's great. Chris, I think it's a great, great program. And I hope
you.
that one of the reasons why I thought it would be good to do this is that, you know, the viewers are local viewers. They're watching it, and hopefully they'll say, if you want to get involved in this program, that you'll touch base with Chris Wilson and, you know, have your children also be in either the FaBRICKators or their own group, but
Right.
something very similar. It's a great way to supplement a child's education, as you can see from the kids that are with us today. So we are going to continue a little bit, and we're going to look at some more of the interesting things that you have done after this legislative break. We'll be right back.
Did you know the Avenue of Flags presentation at Indiantown Gap National Cemetery has over 500 casket flags? Among the flags displayed are Commonwealth, territorial, and military flags. The flags are tied to 20-foot poles spaced 40 feet apart on both sides of the main drive of the cemetery. It takes about 2 hours to set up and take down all of the flags. Volunteers are encouraged to help with this task and must be at least 13 years of age. All of the flags are donated to the Avenue of Flags by families of the deceased. Now you know.
Did you know that the chamber of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives contains a painting depicting the 24 hours of the day? Located in the center of the ceiling, the mural, titled The Hours, was created by artist Edwin Austin Abbey. This wonderful masterpiece charts the setting of the sun, moon, and the many stars that grace the heavens. 24 maidens, who each represent an hour of the day, begin each day in light and gladness and ends in solemn drapery carried on still shoulders. Now you know.
Welcome back to the Legislative Report. I'm with a local middle school group, the FaBRICKators, that was just created this past year, and they just have been doing some wonderful projects, and we're going to go through some of them to show you a little bit about what they've been up to. So we're going to start over here with Jack. Jack, you ready to tell us a little bit about some of the work that you guys are doing?
Yes. So, well, for this cane, what you do is basically like you'll scoop up the shells, and as you see there, he's putting the shells into that sifter. So, well, once he has the shells in there, like he can sift out the sand. So you just have the shells.
Very nice. Very nice. So this was created for a senior need?
Yes.
So how did you come about? We discussed it a little bit before, but how did they come out the group with this project?
Well, we had like different ideas. Like we were addressing like different problems, but Andrew's grandma was having like trouble walking on the beach, and so her husband made like a PVC pipe, and basically we just improved it from there.
Very nice. Now that looks interesting because you're collecting them, Andrew, and you're shaking them out, right? Now it's also a stand, right? Yes. So which one do you like better? Do you like the stand better, or do you like the sifter?
Well, I like the sifter better because it's not only sifts, you can actually pick it up, take the shells directly out of it, and because of the special screw cap, you can take the basket off and just use it as a regular cane.
So it has multi-uses.
Yeah. Kind of.
Now, how much do you think that costs to make about?
About $7 each.
Great, so very inexpensive. And you did some work here with some of the local stores, so Home Depot, right?
Yes. We actually went to Home Depot and we asked them to pre-cut some of these pieces, and they did, and they put it on a special stand in their store.
And I think they have pamphlets as well up at Home Depot on how to do this. So if you're looking for a grandparent that spends a lot of time on the beach, it's a great little project to do, and you can say that it came from your local students. So that's a great project. I love it. Okay, Natalie. What are you going to talk about today?
Basically our senior partner and basically all the research we've done and how we did it.
Good. So we touched a little bit on it. I hope we didn't take some of your story, what you're going to say. But tell me a little bit more about the research with the senior project and how as a group you all decided and said that is a good idea. Were there some other projects that you looked at?
Actually, kind of, yes. We did a lot of research on the internet. We found multiple products. None of them really had a basket, though, for sifting shells or a rake. And some of them are very expensive. Some of them were plastic or metal, which would corrode in salt water because of the salt in there. Never mind that. We decided to, as he said, we came up with this product, I guess you could say.
Well, I think it's interesting that you put some points in there, how as a group you looked at the overall quality of the or of the types of materials that you were using because you're using it on a beach. So that makes a lot of sense that you want it to be able to last and to be able to utilize for a long period of time.
Correct.
Right. And it's nice that it only costs $7, right?
Right. It's a DIY project.
Very, very nice. Very nice. Thank you, Natalie. Okay, we're coming over here to Calvin. Right? Did I get that right? Okay. So, Calvin, what are you going to talk about for us?
Well, I'm going to talk about the presentation on how we presented this product to the First Lego League judges. Well, first we had to write a script because we couldn't just go up there and wing it. So we organized a script that would cover everything about this product and our research and everything. And actually, we did so well on it. We got this presentation award for the presentation at our second competition. So
Very nice. So how long did it take you? Is there one person that you felt was really the leader on the presenter part of it? I'm sure everybody had their strengths in helping out as a group. But one person?
yeah, everyone was actually a leader of something or another. Actually, I was the presentation leader. Joe was the robot leader, and then everyone else had some role.
Very good. And so how long did it take to get the final presentation and everything the day before the competition? Were you ready? How long did it take to do everything?
Well, we actually started the season late compared to everyone else. So we pretty much used the time we had as much as we could. We kind of like split the team into two, and during our meetings, some people would be working on the robot, programming it, and the other people would be like working on the presentation. So yeah, we took all the time we could have.
Great. So you even started late, and you still were a very efficient team, and you got it on track fast, and that's wonderful. So you got a presentation award for that, first place.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, and we also got this one at the qualifier for our robot design. They liked this little thing right here because it had multiple uses, and the orange they really liked. So
Very nice, and I know Joe had discussed that a little bit before a little bit earlier in the show. So that's wonderful. So you did very, very well. We might come back around a little bit. So I'm going to move over, since you two we've spoken to a little bit before, and I'm going to come over to Tony. Tony, what do you have to tell us about the program?
Well, I'm going to tell you about the core values.
Very important part, because this is the teamwork part. This is the part about being involved with your friends from school and how you work together, right?
Yes.
So give us some details of that core value. What can you explain to us as that piece of the program? Give us some details.
Well, the core values were basically how you use teamwork and stuff. Like, we had team activities each week to help us become a team.
Nice. So almost like trust skills, and so it had nothing to do with the project, but it was kind of like a side type of activity that you did to show how to work together?
Yes.
Very nice. So can you remember one of those? Can you tell me what one of those were? I know you probably did a lot of them.
Well, one was other core values, which were like extra things that you had. And we had a staff, and the staff was basically whoever held it was allowed to speak, and nobody else was. And then we had a chair that the person who had the most effort was basically voted. In the next meeting, they were allowed to sit in a teacher's chair.
Oh, very nice. So it got a little competitive too at times, right? But also a teamwork. Now, is there a logo? Now you've made me an honorary member today with my T-shirt, so thank you very much. But is so the logo? How did we come about with all of this?
Well, Calvin over there, he drew the T-shirt.
Did you? So Calvin, how did you come up with the T-shirt design, and if it was you with the name, or if there's somebody else who came up with the name, the FaBRICKators?
Well, the FaBRICKators name we decided before we even started. I mean, we kind of had like a vote over email, and when this was the final name, I heard that we had to have a logo, and no one was really doing it. So I just thought, well, I looked at the name of it, and I thought maybe it would like a wizard kind of fabricating things, I guess.
So that's what it is. So we're gonna make Joe turn here, and we're gonna zoom in a little bit on the shirt. So describe to me. So there's the wizard, right? Mm-hmm. And describe to me a little more. So it's all making things.
Yep. Well, I mean, originally there were like Lego bricks flying around him, but we took it to a T-shirt editor. We said to just like touch up on a few things, and she really liked it, so she kind of took matters into her own hands, and she helped with editing a lot more. Like, she helped by filling in the lightning, and she made it look a lot cleaner, and the words are a lot cleaner now.
So there's been a lot of marketing involved in this. So you're marketing yourself. Does the color mean anything? Orange?
We just voted on a team color, so, and then we kind of went crazy with orange.
Well, orange is a good color.
You could pick us out from a crowd any day. Just stand on a chair and look for a neon orange shirt or something.
That's right. It's a bright color, so it brings a lot of attention to you. Let's talk about each one of you probably have your most favorite part of being in the group. And so I'm just going to go through a little bit. We'll go back to Jack Over, who we talked to a little bit earlier, about what his favorite part, because everybody probably, even though you did all aspects of it, what's your most favorite part about being in the group? Jack, come down this way a little bit. We're just squeeze together a little bit so the camera can see us. What's your favorite part?
I don't know. I think maybe like designing like the robot, because I really like building Legos and whatnot, so I thought that was pretty fun.
And I've heard that, I think, already today. I think that seems to be a big driver, because when you like to do Legos and build things.
Well, my favorite part was programming the robot, because it's a very important part and it's fun to do.
Very good. Very good. Natalie?
My favorite part was just all the fun we had doing this whole thing, because we're kind of a group of friends and we wanted something that would be fun and inventive for us to do, and it just was originally a small club that we thought, and it expanded and grew and grew and grew until we got into this whole situation. Just all the fun that we had coming up with the idea, putting it into action, just all the fun we had.
So you like everything about it pretty much, and your whole group effort, being with your friends, and just the additional projects, anything that you can do.
In a sense, yes.
Good. Very good. Good to hear.
I don't really know. I just liked it overall.
Good. Very good. Well, I could see why. I can absolutely see why. We'll ask you again.
Well, ditto to Andrew. I liked programming the robot because I didn't really do much building, but I loved programming it, just like Andrew.
I like the outreach and coming up with the project.
So the research part of it and trying to figure out what you're going to do.
Yes.
Very good. Very good. Tony?
My favorite part was building the robot.
So I see that there's the theme a little bit. Sometimes, especially the Legos seem to be the theme with building. So if you have a child that really likes to do Legos, which a lot of children do, and it's just wonderful to do them, this might be a very good group to get involved with. Now, we discussed earlier that you're all Strasburg Middle School, right? Correct. And so with Mrs. Wilson here, the project, the group was started for Strasburg Middle School, but hopefully you'd be happy to attract students from other school districts, and then hopefully some of the other school districts would start their own programs as well, or other parents would start their own programs as well. And Mrs. Wilson has been very kind to say that to give her information for people to get in touch with her. So we're going to put that on the screen. We're going to give you her email. So if you are interested in starting a FaBRICKator type of group, and you could have your own name, get in touch with Mrs. Wilson. She'd be happy to help you to do that. We just wanted to let you know as viewers what's happening with some of our local students and some of the supplemental type of education activities that are happening. And congratulations to the FaBRICKators for doing such a great job. You're a great group. Thank you, Mrs. Wilson, for your initiative to start this. And thank you again for watching the Legislative Report. If you need any other information regarding state matters, the information will be on the screen. Thank you.